before the cross, before the empty tomb, before history was changed forever. There were 24 hours that revealed the greatest act of love the world has ever known. It began with a quiet evening, shared among friends. No crowd celebrated, no armies marched. No one realized that before the next sunrise, betrayal, sacrifice, and unimaginable grace would change humanity forever. Every step, every prayer, every word carried eternal purpose. Tonight, we journey through the final 24 hours of Jesus' earthly life and discover why billions of people still remember these moments more than 2,000 years later. As the sun slowly disappeared behind Jerusalem, Jesus gathered his 12 disciples for one final meal. The room was quiet. No one understood what was about to happen. Then, Jesus did something no king had ever done. He knelt before his disciples and gently washed their feet. The teacher became the servant. He showed them that true greatness is found in humility. Then he took the bread, gave thanks, broke it, and said, "This is my body, given for you." He lifted the cup and spoke of a new covenant, sealed in his blood. Around the table, confusion filled the room. Then Jesus quietly revealed that one of them would betray him. The disciples looked at one another, unable to believe that someone among them would do such a thing. Outside, the night grew darker. After supper, Jesus walked toward the Mount of Olives. The cool night air surrounded him. He entered the Garden of Gethsemane, asking his closest disciples to stay awake and pray. But sorrow filled his heart. He stepped away, fell to the ground, and prayed, "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done." His disciples, overcome with exhaustion, fell asleep 3 times. Jesus returned 3 times. They could not stay awake. Then, the silence broke. Torches appeared through the darkness. Judas arrived, leading soldiers and temple guards. He walked directly toward Jesus. Then, with a kiss, he identified the one he had followed for years. The soldiers stepped forward. Jesus did not run. He did not fight. He surrendered himself willingly. One disciple drew his sword, but Jesus stopped him. "This is not the way." In that moment, love chose surrender instead of violence. Jesus was arrested. The disciples, terrified, fled into the darkness. Through the night, Jesus was questioned, mocked, and falsely accused. Witness after witness gave conflicting testimony. Still, the leaders demanded his death. At sunrise, Jesus stood before Pontius Pilate. Pilate searched for a reason to condemn him, yet he found none. The crowd grew louder. "Crucify him." Pilate hesitated, but under pressure, he handed Jesus over. The soldiers mocked him. They placed a robe upon his shoulders, pressed a crown of thorns upon his head, and led him away, carrying the wooden cross. Jesus walked toward Golgotha. The crowds watched silently. Some wept, others mocked. At the top of the hill, the nails were driven. The cross was raised. Darkness covered the land. Even then, Jesus prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Hours passed. Then he spoke, "It is finished." The earth trembled. The temple curtain was torn, and Jesus breathed his last. As evening approached, his followers carefully removed his body. They wrapped him in linen, placed him inside a new tomb. A massive stone sealed the entrance. Roman guards stood watch. Hope seemed buried. The city became silent. It looked as though the story had come to an end. But heaven was not finished. The cross was never the end. It was the beginning of God's greatest victory, because 3 days later, an empty tomb would change the world forever. Death would lose its power. Hope would rise again, and history would never be the same. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone you love. Subscribe and join us as we continue this cinematic journey through the life of Jesus. Our next episode, The Resurrection, the day death was defeated. May God bless you.